Hi, welcome back. I hope everyone's staying really safe at the moment. I've had a little bit of a request through from one of my students because I realised that at the time of filming we're all in lockdown because of COVID-19, and that means that some of you might not be getting the help or support with your dissertations that you might have had otherwise were you having face-to-face teaching. So to help you get to the end of your dissertations, even though you've got a little bit of an extension, I thought I'd do a video to give you some support on how to draw together a conclusion and start to format your dissertation ready for the all-important submission. I know that you perhaps have bigger things going on right now, so I hope that this video just makes this task at least a little bit simpler and more straightforward for you. Okay, so in terms of writing your dissertation conclusion, this can be quite tricky for the same reasons as writing the introduction that I mentioned in a video months ago. It's a much bigger scale in terms of word count that you've ever dealt with before. There are more strands of your argument to pull together, and there's a real risk, because you've probably been giving little conclusions as you go along, that you feel like you're repeating yourself. Okay, so the first thing that your dissertation conclusion should really do is reflect the structure of the main body of work. Because you have an extended piece of writing, your department might actually allow you to use subheadings to help, section it off, be kind to the marker and organise your thoughts. Your conclusion should reflect this structure. So in the same way that your introduction should always tell the reader where you're going to go, your conclusion should always say where you've been and what you've found out, okay? So in terms of reflecting the structure, I used, and I'll show this on the screen for you, really kind of obvious signalling words. So I reposed the dissertation question to myself, and I said firstly, secondly, however, moreover. I reflected the nuances of my argument throughout the whole piece of work. Now, this might seem repetitive because you've done little mini conclusions throughout the work at the end of every, say, subsection that you've done, but this is your main conclusion, which presents an opportunity to draw these arguments together and answer your overall question with the findings that you've put together so far. So don't think of it too much as repetition, because you're going to infer something new. You're going to draw these ideas together in a new way in the main conclusion. So don't feel like you have to kind of produce something completely off-piste and completely new. That's not the job of a conclusion in many ways, okay? The second thing that you need to do, and what makes your conclusion really different from your introduction, is you need to assert your findings. So what have you found out throughout this discussion? And if you're struggling to get started, what I did when I wrote my dissertation conclusion was I went to the end of every subsection that I'd written so far. I looked at the final paragraph, I copied and pasted it, and I put it in red. And this helped me with a few things. It made sure that I recapitulated the arguments in the order that they'd come in the actual dissertation itself, so the structure was reflected really accurately. Rephrasing these paragraphs meant that I drew together my findings, so it wasn't just a pure repetition. I was kind of making a connection between these disparate bits of argument. But it also made sure that I picked up the thread of every argument that I'd put down in the dissertation. The chances are you've been writing this over a number of months, you've been balancing it against other pieces of work, and so you're at risk of really missing something out that you wrote very, very early on. And this business of copying, pasting, and then rewriting can be really helpful. Try not to self-plagiarise, try to change your phrasing sufficiently, but it gives you a starting point, because it's much easier to redraft and edit something that's already kind of there and is going to give you a bit of a guideline than it is to try and remember and pull out of the sky something that you feel should just be there anyway. It's really tricky to just come up with it from scratch. So with respect to asserting your findings, this is a really helpful tool, and it can show everything that's come out of your discussion so far. Let's have a little look at the mission statement I set out at the very beginning of my undergraduate introduction, dissertation introduction, and let's have a look at how I answered the question that I posed to myself in the conclusion. So my dissertation at the outset claimed that this dissertation aims to explore how witchcraft is used within Euripides' Medea and Shakespeare's Macbeth to inspire a sense of dread by interacting with contemporary characterizations of witches, be they literary or political. That was my aim, and I had to make sure that I responded to that when I was asserting my findings. I had to demonstrate my argument, what I'd gone through the whole dissertation. So the very, very final paragraph of my conclusion, the brand new bit where I drew all these strands together, again was really clearly signposted. Overall, what's the gist? Both Euripides and Shakespeare add social and political dimensions to their mythological witches by implicating them in a tragedy for the state. In each case, the socio-political significance afforded to the witches on stage helped to conjure the condemnation of Euripides' Medea by the Dionysian audience and brew success for Shakespeare's Macbeth at Hampton Court. So I've answered the question that I set out in my introduction. I've spent a few paragraphs kind of summarising my findings, and then I've hit home by answering the question with something really clear that speaks to the mission statement I put at the beginning. So in the same way that you've perhaps pulled all your chapter conclusions down, put them in red and rewritten them, for your final paragraph, I'd go back to the introduction. What's your mission statement in your introduction? Copy it, paste it down in red and answer it. And this is just a way of making sure your dissertation is really focused and that it doesn't read as a sort of Frankenstein's monster of something you wrote, kind of before Christmas and then something you wrote after Christmas and it doesn't quite connect and gel. Be sure to rewrite these passages significantly, but make sure you're picking up every thread of the argument and answering your mission statement by copying things down, putting them in red, and either rewriting them or responding to them really clearly. The final thing that you should do is signpost areas for future research. So your dissertation is a piece of work where you're allowed to pick a topic of your choosing and really go nuts with your research. Go and find out gaps in the scholarship, trends in the scholarship, and this is all the good work you've done for your introduction. And the engagement with scholarship is something you'll have done throughout the dissertation itself. Now, the conclusion, because you've got 12,000 words, it's not the same as having a 100,000 word PhD remit, okay? There's probably still work that could be done. You could signpost future research, and that would be a really helpful thing to do in your dissertation conclusion. What have you found out? What have you not been able to pursue because of the word count? The odds are, even within a 12,000 word dissertation, your approach has got to be very focused and it has to leave things out. You can't say everything in 12,000 words. So you might want to signpost future areas for research too, and that shows your awareness of and sensitivity to the topic that you've chosen. Okay, so I hope that helped you for today. I'll be making more videos on dissertations if you would like them. Please just respond in the comments below to let me know what you'd like to see in future videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the channel going. Thanks.